So welcome, Jenny.
Thank you.
It's so nice to have you here, literally here in my
Mm.
home. And I would love to chat with you about the Empress Council.
Sounds good.
So would you share, like what originally, if you can recall, what drew you in to that container, to our community?
Oh, it was women that I love and respect so much, talking about their really rich experience that they were having. Just talking about the container you had created just over and over. I was like, I want to be a part of that. Yeah.
And how would you describe what happened for you while you participated and were involved?
What happened for me, a lot happened. I think the biggest thing was the meeting of really amazing women. Being able to witness so many women share the breadth of themselves, these different iterations and sides and facets of themselves, and like watch their like heroine's journey. Do you know what I mean? Just seeing it unfold and just being like, wow, this is really amazing. Just getting the depth of the character of the women.
Yeah, I love how you bring in the heroine's journey, and what part of your own heroine's journey did you taste that maybe you hadn't before, or maybe you had, and it was just met maybe differently in this kind of container?
I think there's a few. I think the two that stand out the most are, there was a journey we did around, it was going underground, and the way that you create space is so safe, and is so I know this word is overused sometimes, but there's an authenticity to how you create space. Like wherever you are, whatever you're coming from or going to, it's just, there's a deep sense of safety. And we did this meditation and I wasn't sure where it was going to go. And I was met with something really surprising and silly. And it was that was one of the profound experiences of just being like, okay, sure. Like this isn't, my brain had no ability to create this image and create this experience, but it was so exactly spot on for what I needed. And because I felt so much safety and trust, I didn't override it with my thoughts. And I ended up having some really beautiful insights around accountability and personal responsibility and speaking up. And this is what it was related to, that I wouldn't have received if it had been anything else. If it hadn't been a safe container like that, I wouldn't have received it. And if I hadn't received it, I wouldn't have really gotten the medicine I needed. So that was pretty cool. And the other was an ability to dissent, like just to be like, whoa, this isn't working. And the way you hold space for women who are quote unquote not in agreement with something is unparalleled, truly unparalleled. And it was just a little thing, and I made it so big in my mind. I took this tiny little tangle and I made it this huge gnarled knot, because my past experience, whatever the little, small t trauma story was around speaking up with sisters, was maybe not all small t, but it was just like, it's not going to go well. It's not safe. It's not going to be okay. And it was the opposite. It was so humbling. I remember laying in my yard and just crying afterwards, because you made it so easy. And I prepared to speak in a way that was just full of love, but I didn't expect to be met with the level of love that you met me with. And you just with so much grace were like, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And it just lifted every single bit, literally every single bit of tension. It's just, and then after that, I feel like there was a space that opened in me, and there was just so much more love flowing between me and other women in the group, and the connections grew, and the creativity grew. It was amazing.
Yeah, and you are touching upon, one of the reasons I do this work is because of the intense trauma between women, between sisters, and in sisterhood. And it's not an easy thing to navigate. And I watched many times over in my journey, and in the different communities that I've been involved in, it just getting reopened, that wound, and re-exacerbated, and things falling apart, and women walking away, just being hurt once again. So what would you say about in the council, like the dynamics between women and what you witnessed, and how potentially that was healing or supportive? And you even mentioned a little of when you just shared that, but
yeah, what was healing and supportive with the sisters?
Yeah, like just in the way that women were able to relate and connect and support each other and reflect to each other and deal potentially with disagreement. Or
I felt like there's so much space to take our time. That was the biggest thing. It was like a fully titrated experience. There was, the best way I can describe it is no rush. There was no rushing or forcing or pushing. And specifically for women who had big othering trauma, like really big, like foundational, fundamental, societal, ancestral othering trauma, I watched an unfolding that was like, it literally makes me emotional, like thinking about it. Just that was, say this. You just see the perfect timing of it. And even in my brain of facilitation, that's like, that would kind of quiver and oscillate, like, maybe we should move this along. And your trust in that and the positive results of that, unbelievable. Yeah. And so I also felt that normal dynamics of how people perceive me or receive me, which were definitely at play for me, were just kind of, those projections were just blown away, in the sense that I was able to experience my own agency of like, I'm not for everybody. I'm just not for everybody. And I know we all have that. It's like, I'm not for everybody. And it was so, again, it's just like the safety to be like, it, to hone that discernment of honing in on, these are connections that are going to be really rich and deep. And even still, like, having not been in the circle for a while, like, I feel the depth of connection with women I met in that circle, like really, really strongly. And yeah, it's really cool. Like, just being able to sit and like, we're not all going to be for everybody, but man, are we going to be allowed to be for ourselves? Yeah.
Beautiful. And one last thing, women who are exploring this to step in, what might you share with them about, knowing the journey for each woman is so unique and so, very particular to what it is she's, hungering for at that time in her life and cycle. But what is your sense of what you might share with a woman exploring it, of what might happen for her? How might it benefit her?
If somebody was to sit in front of me today and say, what will I get out of Empress circle. And you know, when I make an investment in this, I would say you will get a font, an overflow of opportunities to be witnessed and to witness. You will get so much nurturing holding from you, like just like I just see this lap, like just you will get an opportunity to be really truly held. Every part of you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And probably doesn't really matter if I say, but for today I'll be a little different and not drop the F-bomb. And I don't know how it's iterated in terms of the platform of how you do it. I know energetically though, you will get the opportunity to meet really amazing women, really amazing women who move through life with capital C courage. And so much sweetness, so much sweetness, so much sweetness.
Thank you.
Is that feel helpful? Okay.